What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Mythic Legion's Advent of Decay. This is Aiza Spiritbender. Aiza's pretty cool. There's a lot of mystery shrouding her background here, but to no avail. She looks really cool. I'm really pleased with how this figure turned out. And I love the hooded look for her. I think it really fits her character well. And honestly, you know, she's another one of the I want to say a member of the convocation of I believe it's the convocation of Basilia, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to get my lighting properly so you can see her face a little bit underneath that underneath that hood. Excuse me, but she looks really cool. I like the color scheme here. It's kind of a little bit similar to Ravenna, but we'll get to her down the line as I'm going to review her as well. She's the fantastic exclusive, which was the fan vote. This is not the fan vote, obviously, but it does look similar in certain ways here and there. But there are glaring differences between the two figures. Obviously, character driven. They're also different as well. So, but they do share some similarities, like the hood. I want to say some pieces of the color scheme in the armor pieces, not the skin tone or anything like that. I'm pretty sure that Ravenna is all pretty much covered up. She's not exposed in any way like Aiza is here. But Aiza looks really cool. I really like her. She's another one of the mages, or she's actually a necromancer, so she can bring the dead back to life, which is pretty cool. I don't think we've got anyone else. There might be one other character that we got that was a necromancer, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and read all the bios again and go through that whole spiel. But I like her bio. I'm just going to simply read it out, and then you guys can read it for yourselves also. It says, like most members of the convocation of Basilia, Aiza Spiritbender is shrouded in mystery. Her power to control and harness the spirits of the dead not only makes her a dangerous asset, but also um, but also but also the anomaly in the convocation. It's quite a word. The convocation where all forms of necromancy are generally frowned upon. Even her closest allies are at loss as her origins, as to where she learned her magic, or the meanings behind the cryptic markings that cover her skin. One thing that the convocation members are most certain is that they are better off with Aiza as an ally rather than an enemy. So there is Aiza Spiritbender's little read up. I think she's, very um, very mysterious. There's not a whole lot there that's grounded as far as story for her. We know that she's a necromancer, and that's pretty much kind of it. They don't even discuss the markings on her. And well, I mean, they discuss it, but they discuss that no one knows what they mean. So maybe she's a part of a clan. Maybe those are birth markings. We don't know. Some sort of magical birth markings, maybe. Maybe they have something to do with maybe her markings come to life when she's using her magic. Maybe I don't know, her markings maybe possibly even give her magical powers. We don't know. It's pretty much up to you to kind of decide, I guess, up to this point, unless we get more backstory from the Four Horsemen. But she looks really cool. I'm pretty pleased with her. I just kind of got her in a little pose here. It's nothing too crazy. I'll get her all standing upright, and we'll get her accessories out of her hand here. She does come with some cloth goods, which is pretty much just pegged into the back pegs of the shoulder armor here. You don't have to have the shoulder armor in, but it does. If you want to have the cape on, you're going to have the shoulder armor in, unless you decide to glue it to her back or customize it some other way. But here she is. Looks pretty good. I know I'm a little bit early with this review today, but on the weekends it's a little bit easier for me to get these out a little bit earlier to you guys and gals, as opposed to the weekdays where, I pretty much have to work. So, but she looks really good. I like the face sculpt on her. This very beautiful. I might actually have to adjust my camera here, so I apologize for that, but bear with me here. There we go. Now I can bring her up close and personal, and you guys will be able to see everything a little bit better. Let me adjust my lighting here a little bit. There we are. That was simple. As you can see, her markings continue on her face. Looks really cool. Would have been pretty cool if we would have got an unmasked head for her, just to see what style hair she would have had or something like that. Maybe she's got all black hair. Maybe she has all white hair. I don't know. I'm really intrigued. Whenever I see a hooded figure, I always want to, or a hooded character, I always want to see what kind of hair they have underneath, or what kind of other characteristics they have that differentiate themselves between the other characters in the universe that they're in. So it's pretty cool. I like the fact that she's got some, I think it's pretty cool that she's got some armor up here. And then she's got, pretty much she's like, almost has like a, I guess a belly shirt on. Belly armor. Here we go. But she looks really cool. I like the blue skin tone for her. And it's consistent going throughout the face, the neck, the arms, the forearms, or I should say the biceps, the forearms, the lower torso, the legs also. And her markings are pretty consistent too. It's kind of like the illusion of a continuation of this marking going throughout her entire body. As you can see, the little curled tail. We get a little curled tail down here, and it kind of looks like it's supposed to connect, like it's all almost intertwining. As you can see, there's some more markings coming from the side over here. And it's supposed to be connecting to this lower marking right here, and then kind of goes up and then almost reaches her face, it looks like. And then the arm as well. So that's pretty cool. I like the little subtle things sometimes with characters that really just help them stand apart from each other. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of reused parts between all the elves that we've seen with most of this armor pieces and gauntlet pieces and boots and stuff like that. But the paint decos are going to be different. Like I said, there are some similarities in the blues, I want to say, between her and Ravenna. I like the purple cape looks really cool. I like that it's supposed to match the hood, so it gives off the illusion that it's her hood is attached to the cape. So that's pretty cool. The shoulder armor looks really good on her. I like the copper with the gold, and then the metallic blue. It's almost like a metallic navy blue. I'm not sure the technical term for the blue, but it still looks good nonetheless, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And it's consistent with her leg armor here, her thigh armor, I should call it. And then we have another bit of purple here. It's actually a different color purple than the hood. You're not seeing that incorrectly on screen. This is a darker purple. It's a little bit lighter of a purple. So nice little differentiation there between the two. And then we have the blue, which matches the thigh armor and the chest armor and the shoulder armor as well. And then we have some gold going through there, some brown. And I really like these little designs. They almost look like a little flower almost. But not really a flower. Almost maybe like a vine would be more accurate there. But I like the little design. It's pretty cool, and it's on both sides of the boot. And then we have some blue metallic down there. Or maybe it is actually, maybe I take that back. Maybe it's kind of like a purpley metallic. It almost looks navy. I don't know. Maybe I'm partially colorblind. It's definitely purple. I take that back. So I apologize for any confusion here. But it's definitely, now that I'm looking at it a little bit more focused here, maybe I'm partially colorblind. I don't know. But it looked like navy blue up here and on the chest. And then down here, it's definitely the same color. But now that I'm looking under better light and kind of staring at it a little bit longer, it's definitely a metallic, dark, dark purple. It almost, I think it's the metallic kind of giving off the little bit of navy blue to it. But yeah, it's definitely a purple. So I retract my previous statement, and I want to apologize for any confusion there. So it's not a blue. It looks blue at certain angles, though. It really does. I don't know. I'm just must be going colorblind, or must be colorblind. Period. But anyway, I digress. The boots are a nice brown. And then on the back portion, let me lift up her cape there. We have the continued design. Yeah, it's definitely purple. It's not navy blue at all. Just a bad sense of color here. But we can see a little cheekage right here. We got a little bit of the glutes right here. I like the blue mixed with the purple. I think the blue actually helps the purple stand out a little bit. But it looks really good. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And yeah, I like the little gold buckles on her. Looks really good. The gold, or the I should say copper outlining for her hood looks really nice as well. Little gold studs on each of her gauntlets look really good on the section that covers her forearm. Then we just have blue. Holy cow! I need to get my shit together today. The brown hands look really cool. The brown gloves look nice. Everything looks pretty damn consistent with her. That's pretty cool. So next we'll run down the accessories. Here's her first accessory, which is this dagger, which I went through before, but I'll go through it again. We've got a nice lighter, it's like a lighter, different style purple. It's like a flat purple right here, and then like a almost like a metallic purple right there, but without any flakes going through it. Or you got a little bit of flakage going throughout the rest of this purple right here. So that looks really good. I like it. Actually, I would say this is more of a glossy purple than a metallic, to be honest with you. And then taking the knife out of the sheath, there you go. You have the blade and everything. Looks really good. So good job on the knife. I still think that it would be cool if we got some, a sheath or some sort of holsters on this armor right here that came with her, instead of having to give her this floppy leather strap that we've seen, in previous waves that kind of don't fit with certain characters. I mean, we did get, I think one belt in the wave 1 where it had sheaths attached to the waist armor. I think that would fit better instead of having this loose piece. I would still include these in case you want to go across the shoulder like I used with Atlas and stuff like that, or other characters, period. But it would be nice if we got some updated holsters, maybe with some even sculpted, like some sort of war horn on there, or little pockets and stuff sculpted on there. That would be pretty cool to see in the future. But that's her first accessory. I guess technically her cape would be an accessory too, since it doesn't come with it on the figure. Over here we have her staff, which is a rather large staff. I think this might be the same staff that was used. Oh no, it's definitely different. But we've seen the staff used in the past. But it looks good. I don't have an issue with it. You can remove the top piece. I want to say that this might be the staff that was used with all the flags and everything. It's just painted gold. And then this is the mace head, which we've seen in previous waves. It came with like Sir Godfrey and whatnot. It's just painted gold with some red studs on there. Looks good with the gold. Red always looks good with gold. Pretty much anything looks good with gold, I think. I think green with gold would look nice too. But it looks pretty good. Don't have any issue with that. I like the little sharp point at the other end. It is rather tall, this staff, as we can see her over here. Get Aiza over here. As you can see, the it's a rather large staff, so it's pretty cool. I'm surprised that they didn't go the other route and give us just like one of the magical tops to it. And by magical top, I mean like one of the, mage staff pieces for the top of the staff is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know why I'm saying staff so many times, but I am. But it looks good nonetheless. So she's got a little bit of like a long mace wielding staff, which I guess you could, what I might actually do? I might actually go in here and see this little, like, almost like a diamond style design right there. I might actually go in there and maybe paint it black, just that, or maybe like a white. And that could still be used not only as a bladed weapon here, as a mace. You could also use it as a magical weapon as well, kind of like a big magical staff. So maybe she harnesses some powers, her necromancing powers, through her staff and directs it through the staff that way. So I might actually go ahead and do that. It's actually a pretty good idea. And then we have this like sickle weapon, sickle sword weapon. It's just a sickle, really. That's all it would be called. But it looks really good. I like it. There's a difference between the other sickles, which look like this, that came in the weapons pack and also came with some of the vampires here. As you can see right there, that sword, it's actually, you can turn it into a staff too. There's a little peg right there, and you can connect it to that, and then you can go Darth Maul style. So there's that little bit of differentiation to show. With these, you cannot connect them. They're pretty much just a dual wielding or single wielding bladed weapon, which I still think looks really good. Let me get her out of the way. She might be, the camera might be trying to focus on her a little bit. But nice gold paint for the blade, and then we have some nice purple for the handle. Looks really good. No issues there. And there's the top of the blade. Really good. So no issues there. And that's pretty much all she comes with besides the back adapters. She also comes with those. And that is just about it. Like I said, the cape just pegs into the back of the shoulder pieces. And it's just that simple. There's actually 4 holes in the cape. You don't have to use all 4 holes. It's recommended that you do by the 4 horsemen. This way the cape is supposed to lie a specific way. But there's a couple figures where I've actually only used 2 holes, and the cape actually drapes a little bit differently, which I kind of prefer on certain figures. I think I might leave her this way. I think it looks fine just the way it is. But, that's the coolest thing about Mythic Legions. You can customize them any way you want. So, as far as her articulation does go, her head can swivel at a full 360 rotation if you really want it to. Her head doesn't really want to look up or down too much. I want to say you'll get a little bit better range of motion with it going down than you are going up, and that's just due to the sculpting of the hood. Her arms can do a full 360 rotation. Can she pivot her head? No, she can't really pivot her head either. And there's no jive turkeys either, just in case you wanted to know. So, but her arms can do a full 360 rotation if you need to. It'll do a better full 360, better range of motion without the shoulder pads on. Obviously, you could take those off, which I've established numerous times. Her arms can go up, and her arm popped out, no big deal. You just pop it back in. There we go. But her arm can go up. I'm trying to do this gently. About that far. That's about maxed. Let me double check that. Make sure that's maxed out. No, it's not maxed out. It's just stuck. There we go. Okay. You can get a little bit further. There, I took the arm off the joint, and the hinge does go up farther. I'm going to have to use some heat on it. I would definitely suggest, if your joints are a little bit stiff, maybe fighting you a little bit, use some heat on it, and then you'll get the full range of motion. Her arm can definitely probably go up to about here. So if you use the full hinge joint, I'm going to have to use some heat. So This is pretty much how I can get it right now, but it's not maxed out. Then her arm goes down, single bend at the elbow. Then she does have a swivel at the elbow, swivel at the gauntlet, swivel at the wrist, hinge joint. She does have a diaphragm joint up top and a waist swivel down there, so you can swivel at the diaphragm joint. You can pivot side to side. You can crunch back. You can crunch forward. With no issues of really scraping or anything like that. I haven't had any issues with the diaphragm joint scraping. Sometimes it does with other figures, but in this case, it doesn't. So there's that. You can pivot side to side. You can swivel at the waist down here. She does have T-jointed crotch, leg, hips, which can go out in the splits nicely. Legs go forward, back, upper thigh swivel, which is hidden beautifully, by the way. It's all the way at the top of the thigh, all the way up in the joint. See, look at that. That is beautiful right there. I love that. Single jointed knee, which gets the job done. Knee swivel. Points to toe, about that far. Points to heel, about that far. Ankle pivot. 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And the ankle can swivel as well. So you're getting a really good range of motion, really good articulation overall with these new bodies. I like it for the most part. There have been some quality control issues with some paint and here and there and all that jazz. There have been some issues with loose joints, which I've blatantly pointed out in the some of the other figure reviews that I've done with this wave. I don't really have too much of an issue with her. She's really kind of a non-issue as far as the majority of her joints go. I would say that maybe this right leg swivel is a little bit on the looser side, but I can fix that myself. I know how to do that. You use some floor polish, or you can use a plethora of other different methods like hot glue, super glue. Super glue does leave a white residue, so I don't know. I tend to not really care for the super glue method, but I just use Pledge floor polish, which seems to be the best method to go with. She can hold all of her weapons and everything. No issues there, and I'll just kind of get her in a funky pose here. Funky pose time. Funky posing. But I really like her. I think she looks really good. She's maybe an underrated figure. I haven't heard a whole lot of people kind of crapping their pants to get her. But I think she might be an underrated figure. I think she looks really good, especially if you want some sort of necromancer, somebody a little bit with a different backstory here. You could go with her and add her to your collection, and I think she'll get the job done as far as what you need her to do. Like, I've seen numerous people, and this is actually how I was going to start collecting these. I wasn't going to go all in. I wasn't going to do any of that. I was going to get cherry pick the crap out of these, and I was just going to kind of build my own guild, and that's what I wanted to do initially. But now that I've pretty much fallen head over heels for these figures, even with the glaring flaws here and there are flaws in every action figure. I still love the line. I'm probably going to try and get as many of these as I possibly can, especially with all of the berserkers coming out, the larger bodies that are coming out soon with the vampire one, the orc one, and the humanoid one, which is, I want to say, the kind of the barbarian, the larger barbarian one. I'm pretty much all on board with those. I'm probably going to try and get in on every one of these, at least have one version of them, and then maybe, I don't know, I might pick up another some others down the line. I don't know, as far as doing doubles or army building. I don't think that's in my future for this. As long as I have one of each, I'm pretty much happy. So, but Aiza Spiritbender looks really good. I like her body designs. And by body designs, I mean body tattoos or body markings. I think it looks really good. I like that she's kind of got the armor up top, and it just sits on the shoulders nicely, and then she's kind of got a little bit of like a belly armor. Looks really good. I think it's a nice differentiation between a lot of the other characters. I think that's pretty cool. Not to say that other characters don't have the midriff showing, that they don't have it showing also, but it's a nice change. I like seeing the armor up top and then the midriff showing. I think it looks really cool. So that's just a personal preference thing. I'm going to move her aside 1 second, then we'll do size comparisons and whatnot. But I'm going to get her packaging in here because I always have to get their packaging in part of the review. Plus, I promised I would not only read her bio, but I would also show you the bio in case you want to read it for yourself and narrate it your own way. But here's the front of the packaging. It says Mythic Legions and blah, blah, blah. We got the 4 Horsemen logo up top right there on the left-hand side. Or technically my right hand, but the left, you get what I'm saying. Here we have the clan insignia. And then on the back, we have Queen Artemis. We have Faunus, which I actually reviewed yesterday, so if you want to go and check that out, you can. And then it looks like we have Jorund. So, pretty awesome that we have a character from Wave 1.0 on there. So, looks really good. And there's the entire packaging right there. So we can see the castle of Queen Artemis in the background. And we can see it's got some pretty cool little bit of like woodland designs. You see like tree branches growing, and that's actually part of Faunus's read up as well. He can actually summon, I guess you want to call it earth-like vegetation and trees and whatnot to be used as a defense mechanism for the castle here, which is pretty awesome. I like that nice little read up. Anyway, on the side, so I don't want to babble too much here, we have a picture of Aiza. And then here is her read up. I will hold it up as long as possible for my live viewers. And then for those of you watching this on playback, you can read it, pause it, fast forward it through if you don't want to read it. And okay, so there you go with the read up. And then bringing Aiza back in here, we'll do some size comparisons here. Let me just get her. Let me take this staff out of here because the staff does kind of like, it's a little bit heavy on her little hand right here. That might be something I would just want to note, that the staff being so large and bulky, it does tend to put a little bit of stress on her, her wrist joint. But here she is. Let's get her stood up properly. Get her in the middle. We'll recenter my focus here. And then we'll get in Sir Gideon Heavensbrand. Oh, there's Sir Gideon right there. Okay. Sir Gideon. And then next up, we will do, here's a WWE figure. We'll bring in Paul Heyman. Why not? Because Paul's been a consistent guy throughout my review here. Maybe we'll bring in Batista next. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below what you, or in the live chat, what you guys want to see. You want to see Batista? Shawn Michaels? I don't know. Bret Hart? I have them all. But there's Paul Heyman. So there it is with the WWE figure. And then next up, we will do a Motu Classic with Sir Gideon Heavensbrand. There you go. Sir Gideon and Vicor. So that looks pretty good. They all fit in together, I think. And then we'll get Sir Gideon out of here. He's been a lovely assistant through this whole series so far. Let's get a round of applause for Sir Gideon. Thank you, Sir Gideon. Thank you. Okay. Here's Bishop. That's a Hyperion body mold. And then we have a Bucky Cat body mold, which is Mr. Multiple Man here. So there you go with all of your size comparisons there. If you guys would like to see a different type of figure, let me know. Obviously, this is a 6-inch style figure. 3 3/4 inch figure I don't really feel is, a necessity as far as putting it a size comparison with that, because it's obviously larger than 3 3/4 inch. So if you guys want to see any other 6-inch comparisons, let me know. But yeah, that is it for Aiza Spiritbender. I'm pretty pleased with this. She's probably not, she's definitely not one of my favorites, but she's definitely she's not a bad figure at all. She's not a lazy figure. We've got a lot of mages, a lot of wizards within this wave. I'm actually astonished as to how many we actually have. There's quite a bit, to be honest with you. But she looks beautiful. I love her. I love the hood. I like the blue skin. Looks really good. I like how consistent the blues are. I like pretty much how consistent all of these figures are. But she's pretty cool. I like her. I like that we have a necromancer now, and it's a much needed one. I'm actually surprised they didn't make her a villain, but she does look kind of like a good guy a little bit. Maybe she's misunderstood. Maybe a lot of people expect her to go the evil route, but she's always wants to fight for good. Think of her. I see her. I think of Raven from Teen Titans for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably the hood and the fact that she's got magical powers and whatnot. But she's pretty cool nonetheless. I like her, and yeah, I would definitely give her a 2 thumbs up. Let me get my other thumb in there. There you go. There's the 2 thumb recommendation right there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thanks for joining me again. Hit that like button, please. It's free to do. It helps my channel. If you want to see more, obviously, hit the like button. It helps me know that you want to see more. If you want to subscribe and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell twice for notifications until you see 2 little parentheses going over the bell. This way, you get all notifications. If you only hit it once, you get occasional notifications. Until YouTube fixes that, I'm going to continue to leave that in my review just so people know. A lot of people don't know that for some reason. It's a little change that they didn't let people know about, but it's been kind of screwing up a lot of people's channel. Like, why aren't my subs getting my content in their sub boxes? And that's why. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you for joining me. Join me again tomorrow for another Mythic Legions Advent of Decay action figure. I'm not going to say which one, but you'll just have to tune in to watch. So thanks again, everybody, for the continued support. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. And by the end of this, I might do something special for you guys. And by might, I'm going to do something special for you guys. So stay tuned in. Thank you. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.